Hi guys, Chris Jones here for the ClickBank University. I thought I'd do you a very quick video that will give you 7 tips if you're a new vendor on ClickBank, or if you're looking at having your own product and you're not sure where to start and it's a bit overwhelming for you. A little bit about myself before I begin. Basically, I've been with ClickBank now for a good 6 or 7 years, maybe a bit longer. And I've set up a lot of products with them, as you normally do when you start setting up products and when you start looking into sales copy and setting up websites, I understand entirely where you are at the minute. If you're a member of the ClickBank University, I mean, the material in here is, I just wish it was available when I got started. If you work your way through the material, you literally are streets ahead of 99% of people out there, and that's no, I'm not fluffing that up at all. It's the truth, because this stuff is quite easy, if I do say so myself. It's easy when you know how. It's a bit like driving a car. You remember when you got in a car and all the controls and you're trying to do 1,000 things at once, and the car's still rolling and they've got the dual control on and they have to stop the car for you, and it can all get a bit overwhelming. But it's very much like that, because what happens, the same way for those of you that drive, the same way you just suddenly start doing it and it gets easier and easier until suddenly you're able to create products, spot niche markets and make a lot of money right from your computer. The beauty of this stuff, and I don't need to tell you this, so I won't spend too much time on it, but the beauty of it is that you can make money from your computer, your freedom, your time is your own. Now here's the truth, you do have to work hard. I've worked online for about 10 years, and at least 7 or even 80 of those years with ClickBank, and it's been a learning curve, hard work, but it has been ever so rewarding as well, and the money is very good when you get going. The reason the money's good is it's limitless. You know, you create products. The best way to think about it, and I'll get into the tips now for you, the best way to think about it as a new vendor is this. If I had to start all over again, so if someone said to me, Chris, what would you do if you started all over again? The very first thing I would do if I lost it all tomorrow, touch wood, I don't, but if I did, I would create my own products. I would literally start off on ClickBank again, and I would create my own products, and anybody can do this. I'm going to start off with the tips now, and this should help you. These are some of the pitfalls that I fell into, or not doing these tips I should say, when I got started, and they will help you make more sales, get your product up faster, and also get to grips with this stuff. So if you're looking to be a new vendor, this should really help you. So the first thing I would say is start with an interest. Now, when I got started with ClickBank, or one of the first products I sort of had with ClickBank, both success as an affiliate and a product owner as a vendor was in the World of Warcraft niche. Now, for those of you that don't know, World of Warcraft is a massive multiplayer game, which all it means, it's a bit like Dungeons and Dragons type medieval stuff, that you log into this massive gaming universe online. But the thing is, and this is really interesting as well, because on the face of it, if I were to say that to you and you don't know about World of Warcraft, you might not think of it as a niche. You might think, well, it's just a computer game. But here's the thing. World of Warcraft, I mean, it's getting on a bit now. It's been about for years and years. It may be even 10 years, you know, but when it got started, and still now, it's very popular, and the game consists of, it never ends. It consists of, you have to collect, complete missions, and you'll kill 7 goblins and you'll collect a reward, and then you'll be sent out on another mission, and the game is made to keep you playing. But for that reason, people need help with it. So they want to level faster. And here's the real thing that makes it a good niche, still a good niche, is the fact that they're paying a monthly fee to play the game. it actually costs to play the game. So because we know that that market or that niche is actually paying at the minute to play the game, and they want to see more of the content, I created a leveling guide for World of Warcraft, and it did really well. But the main reason you want to stick to an interest is when you're doing this stuff, when you're getting started on ClickBank, and when you work your way through the ClickBank University materials, you want to start with an interest where possible, because when you get into building the sales page, or when you get to promoting the product and so on, it really helps to have some knowledge of your product, and it's much easier to write for. But my second tip to move on is literally get started today. No matter what stage you're at with the ClickBank University, and I mean, of course, follow the ClickBank University, the schedule that you've got and so on, that they outlay to you. So I'm not saying to do exactly what I say over the ClickBank University, but what I am saying is this: actually get started. I could have saved so much time if I had got my work ethic sorted when I got started. Now that is the biggest deciding point, and I know we're not strictly talking about product creation or ClickBank, but it is literally to motivate yourself, to break it down into really small steps so they're manageable chunks. And one of the best things that I use, I borrowed this one from Brian Tracy from reading his books. If you're looking to do this seriously and you're looking to make a lot of money, I'd suggest checking out Brian Tracy. Some of you will have heard of him, and really, really good stuff to surround yourself with success as well. That's something I wish I did a lot earlier. But one of the best techniques I've got for time management and for getting stuff done and for getting lots more done than a normal person is to write down 5 or 6 things before you go to sleep. So do it this evening, 5 or 6 things that you've got to do tomorrow. And you want to do it the day before. You don't want to leave it to the morning. If you leave it to the morning, and especially those of you that are still in a 9 to 5 or have got a job as well and you're looking to escape that monotony, if you don't do the list the night before, it will be lost in the day. So it's getting into a sort of rhythm, into a success rhythm, if you will. And basically every day you know exactly what you've got to do. And I'd say get started. You literally only need a product, a sales page, a delivery page, and an affiliate page. And you could cross out the affiliate page. I mean, of course, you need one, and you need affiliate tools and so on to get affiliates. But literally, to make sales with ClickBank, you just need a sales page, a decent product, a delivery page, and any disclaimers that you need. And to show you an example of one, here we go. We've got another gaming product here. This is one of my products, and this is for Neverwinter, which is another massive multiplayer game. But you can see the reason you want to start today is because you can break it down. You'll see with my products, they're not, you see this, it's not absolutely superb graphically, but because I know the niche, I could speak to the niche knowledgeably, and it sells. And all this site that actually makes money, if I scroll right down, give you a quick view of the sales page, it's nothing spectacular. The other big part of all of this, why I see people fail or not do that well online, is because they're thinking that it has to be perfect. And it really doesn't have to be perfect. You know, one of my first products was literally on ClickBank, and fair enough, this was going back a little bit, so sites tend to look a lot nicer now. But I created the header with a free banner creator, and that's how I did it. And it just had the text, just the name of the guide across the top. So you could get started, and you just need a sales page and a delivery page. And once you've got that, and obviously a disclaimer and so on, depending what you're selling, what guide it is, and you've got enough then to actually start sending it through to the market. And sort of tying in with that point, my third tip is this: to break it down and find your angle. Now, what I mean by this is, and this is paramount, this is something that I've used and it's allowed me to go into all sorts of niches and do really, really well. You want to find your angle. You want to find your superpower, your skill, or something that you can offer that no one else can offer. And that is really, it is really paramount. You can make a lot of money just by that, and it also gives you the actual keys of not having to worry about competition. If you can basically find an angle your way in. For instance, you might have, and I'm going to talk about it in another tip in a little while, but I had a chicken coop guide, how to build a chicken coop, and I had seen a guide doing well in the niche, and the guide actually had PDF documents that you can download. So you go through to the members area, and there's all the materials, and you can download them in a bill of materials, but they didn't have any videos. So I created a guide, added videos onto there. That was my angle. That was my point. On the sales page, what I'm trying to say is it's going to be different for all of you, depending what niche you're in, but you want to find an angle, something that you stand for, something that's your superpower, whether it be videos or MP3s or special bonuses or better support or anything like that, anything you can think of that can make your product more valuable and make people think, wow, I'm going to go with this guy because I haven't seen this before. And that is really the key to it. And it leads me on to the fourth tip. Don't worry about competition. Now, as I said in the first tip, to actually start with your interests. As you get better at this stuff and as you start releasing products, you don't need to particularly go to your interests. For instance, and this is for my chicken coop guide, I have never built a chicken coop in my life. So you might be wondering, well, how can you release a guide on how to do it? I outsourced it. You can outsource, and when you get, I would recommend starting your product and going through this stuff, going through all of the ClickBank University exactly as they tell you. And the reason I'm saying that is ClickBank are a really good bunch of guys. Still now, and this isn't just fluff or me saying this because I'm doing it for the ClickBank University, but still now I have not seen an affiliate network on the same level as ClickBank. They've got a really good team. They're always available. They're brilliant if you've got any technical problems. And I know because I've pestered them enough times when I've got problems with my products. So do exactly what they say on this ClickBank University course, and obviously follow it through how they say. But it's basically just a case of repetition, and you will get there. You really can do this. If you're, and I know I keep pushing the point, but if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, there's no way I can do this, it's all too technical, please bear with it. Honestly, I am not a technical guy. When I started with this stuff, I didn't even know how to build a website. As I say, I looked for a free banner creator to do a banner, and this is the real key. You learn the skills you need to know as you go along, and you're moving, and the real success, or the real, it isn't particularly with the money, and you'll get this. I know that sounds mad for now, but when you start making money, the real success comes in the progress that you're making, and you're feeling, right, I'm learning this, and you get to know about HTML and JavaScript and using Dreamweaver, and then you might decide to put a video on your website, and then you might decide to start offering a service or adding an upsell to the product. So it's an ongoing journey. You never get to the end. The key is to actually start. And the reason I say don't worry about competition is simply because, let me show you another site here. This site is quite popular, CB Engine, and it's there's quite a few of them actually. What they are is sort of scrapers of the ClickBank Marketplace. You can also use the actual ClickBank Marketplace as well, but I've just picked this one at random, and the reason being is this. On the left hand side here you can see top ClickBank vendors, and if I click on there, you will see all the current products in ClickBank that are the top products. So you've got the gravity, and you've got the amount that you get per sale, and you can see If we pick one here, so sticking with the sort of video game niche, you know, because I've sort of made that, shown you a few products with, or talked a lot about computer games, so sticking with that niche just for an example, clicking on this product, you can also see graphs, and you can see how well a product's doing, how well it's doing in gravity. You can see what the referred rate is. And what I'm trying to say is this: when you look at a product, you can actually see, I mean, looking here, this product goes right back to 06, 07. So, you know, we're talking about quite a long time ago, and that product is still making the money. So when you look at the, and I'll scroll back up and show you, when you look at the top ClickBank vendors, if you have any of these niches and they've been about longer than a year, you know it's a good niche, and you don't have to worry about competition, because you know it's a good niche. All you have to worry about is what's your superpower going to be. Again, start with your interests, don't go too fast, but you can always go into any niche that's making money. You want to go where the money is. I spent a long time trying to find little niches with hardly any competition, and I thought I was doing well. When I got started, I'd like look and think, brilliant, there's no Google AdWords on this niche, there's no websites competing, I found a winner here. In truth, sometimes I did find a winner, that's the absolute truth, but most of the time you find a very small niche with very little returns and you don't make any money. So go where the competition is, don't be worried about competition. There are millions of people online. And the truth is, I'll tell you the real truth, when you start working on your product, and I'm going to talk about it in a little while, but when you start working on your product, most people won't work, they won't promote their product. They might do a blog post or two and then give up on it. Don't be one of the people that give up. You can do this. I have literally, using ClickBank, literally from the ground up built a limited company in the UK, selling online products and services, and it all started right here on ClickBank. So it should get you excited. Enjoy it, have fun with it, have fun learning, watching through the materials. Most of all, put it into practice. Even if you're setting an hour aside when you finish work, even an hour at your lunch break. I remember I was doing this stuff in my lunch break when I still had a day job. I don't recommend that, the boss doesn't like it, but you can do it. My fifth tip is, don't worry about being perfect. Not perfect is better, and I'll tell you why. Going back to the chicken coop example, I actually set that up so, as explained before, I put videos on it, and I got a really intricate sales page on it, and it had videos, and it had some guy from Georgia building a chicken coop, and it had some sort of cowboy-ish music on the background. So I really overplayed it. You know, it was really geared towards chicken coops and all that stuff, and I thought this is going to do brilliant. And it did do well. It did do well. It started making sales. But here's the thing. It didn't make as many sales as I thought, and I was sending traffic through to it, and it was making a sale here and there. And I'd spent a lot of money on the design of the website. It was a brown website with a... I'd show you the website now. I actually sold the website as a business, not to jump around, but that's the other thing with ClickBank. This is why you want to get started as a vendor. Every product you create, you can then, once it's actually making money, and once it's been making money for a good year, you've then got an asset and you can choose to sell it, and it is worth ever such a lot of money. But not to jump around. First thing is obviously getting the product up. But I sold the chicken coop one, and it had like a banner at the top, a brown banner, and a hammer and nail, and all the stuff. Graphically, it was superb. It had videos, it had lots of testimonials, lots of bells and whistles. And here's the thing: when I sort of looked at the sales, and I sort of thought, why is this not selling that brilliantly? I looked at the demographics of the niche, and most people, not all of them, but most people weren't that savvy on computers. And there was me with my sort of glamorous website and loads of videos being thrown at them, and it overwhelmed them, and they weren't buying. So what I did was take all the graphics down and just change it to a blank sort of background, and a sort of white page with the sales copy on, and I had a really good description. When they got down to the payment area, I told them exactly what would happen. So you click on this button, you'll go through to the order form. Once you fill in your payment details, you'll be transferred through to the members area. And that was literally what I did to up the conversion rate. It really upped the conversion rate, because that's what all they wanted. They wanted the product, but the way it was presented was putting them off a bit. So that's my long-winded way of saying not perfect is better. And I'll tell you why, just to re-establish that point. It's because you don't know. You really don't know. I've seen so many different niches. You don't know how it's going to sell until you get something up there. I'm not saying do a quick job or anything like that. I'm saying do a job. Get the sales copy done. Get the product up there and start sending traffic to it. Rather than thinking, oh, it doesn't look right, it doesn't. Just, if you're worried about writing sales copy, that's another pothole I see people fall down. They fall down the sales copy pothole and they don't get back out for years, because they sort of think it has to be perfect and they're going to have to be a master copywriter. Moving on to my 6th point, which will actually tell you about this. My 6th tip is sales page tips. Okay, so when you're writing your sales page, and you've obviously got all this information in the ClickBank University, so I'm not going to go over any of that, and if my views are different, or just use what I'm saying to you now as a guide. If you're literally stuck writing the sales page, all you have to do, here's the best lesson you can learn about sales copy, it really helped me. All you have to do is think features and benefits. And that's it. I know that's a very basic sales lesson, but if you use it, the truth is most people don't know what a benefit is, or what a sort of, I'll explain it to you. So we've got this here. All you have to do is focus on the benefits. So a feature of this one that I'm showing you, so it's for a guide, a massive multiplayer guide. A feature might be 40-page ebook or 50-page ebook. That is indeed a feature, but there's no benefits there. If I tried to sell it, so if this headline said download a 50-page ebook on the Neverwinter massive multiplayer game, it wouldn't entice anyone to buy. What you want to do is work out what problems your product solves. So you go into a niche. This is really what we're doing with ClickBank and your product. We're going into a niche, we're solving their problems. So we're firstly looking at the problems they have, and then we create a product that solves a problem. Now, the greater the problem and the better you can get across your solution is easy, is quick, the speed that it can work, the easier it's going to sell, and that's all benefits. So it literally is, if you understand benefits, and as here, so instead of just saying a 40-page or 50-page ebook, I'm saying you get a leveling guide, a class guide, a dungeon guide, a PvP guide, and I could even go further. I could say you get a leveling guide which will allow you to see some of the game a lot faster than normal. You get a class guide, so you know that when you're playing you're the strongest you can be. A dungeon guide, so you don't get killed in the dungeons. A PvP guide, so you can take on some of the best in the world and win. And a Zen guide, a crafting guide, which will tell you how to get some of the best items in the game. So an easier way to do it is to think of the feature first and then the benefit of that feature. Like the chicken coop example I gave you, if there's videos for the chicken coop, I might say the best thing with this guide is that you get videos with it. And what that means is that you don't have to sort of be in the dark when you're building your chicken coop, and you don't have PDFs, just PDFs. You can actually watch these videos, you can download them onto your iPad, you can watch them anywhere, and you can build your chicken coop. So that's the benefits of it. Moving on to my 7th and final tip, because obviously I haven't got long with you guys, I wish I did have, and this tip I could talk about in a whole, literally a video that's 10 times the length of this one, because it's the biggest part of it. Here's my 7th and probably the most important tip, and if you do anything, make sure you follow this tip. My biggest tip for a new vendor with ClickBank or any payment processor, any product, would be this: make sales yourself. Sounds simple, but I've seen so many products launched, and again, people making the same mistakes I did, building a chicken coop product or building any product and spending loads on the website and getting all the design nice and the sales copy and the page looks absolutely brilliant and not promoting it. And what I mean by that is you have to learn, and they've got it here, that's why it's so good. In the ClickBank University, they have got a traffic section, so they've actually got a section dedicated to telling you how to get traffic. Really soak all that up. Again, don't spend too long on strategies. Go out and try them. Literally, my ClickBank products, most of the time, not all of the time, but in social media terms, most of the time, my most successful ClickBank products as a vendor speaking to you is when I attach a blog onto the actual site, so /blog, put a WordPress blog on there, and write really good relevant information. And how do you know that it's really good relevant information? Well, you want to, here's another tip. I could call this the 8th tip, but I said it would only be 7. But here's the thing: you want to make sure that your free stuff is almost as good as your paid stuff. And people would say, Chris, if I do that, no one will buy my guide. They will, and they'll come in droves, believe me. If you make your free stuff quality, if you make your free stuff answer the main questions in the niche and solve problems for them, and then you've got a guide that solves the main, for instance, and back to the chicken coop one, and I actually use this on eZine articles, if I write a guide, a written guide on how to build a chicken coop, or something like how to pick a plot in your backyard for a chicken coop, or how to measure it, something like that, and then at the bottom there's a link going through to a guide that shows you exactly with video how to build a chicken coop. You can see why that would sell. But I am offering really good information. They might not choose to buy the guide, but they've then got information there that they can use and go out in their backyard and start measuring up. And as they're measuring up, they'll think, you know, that Chris guy has got this right. It looks really good. I need a chicken coop. I'm going to get his guide. It's in their mind. You've given them good information. Focus on giving red hot information. Focus on making sales yourself. Adding a blog onto your site. Using all social media, Facebook, Google+, Twitter. You've got it all in the ClickBank University. Use it all and really go overboard with it. When I got started with ClickBank and promoting my products, for an example, I was writing 15 to 20 articles a day, if not more, and I was sitting there. And that's not even the best way. I'm not even saying do that because it's really hard work, but I was making sales. I was making sales and I was getting to where I want to be. The biggest reason I see people fail, or not fail, but the biggest reason I see people give up, if you will, as a new vendor, is because they get everything done, think that was hard work, and now I've got my product, now people are going to flock and see me, and affiliates are going to come in the droves. That doesn't happen, but here's the thing. Affiliates will come, and they will see you as long as you start making sales yourself. I know that, I'm proof of that. And it really is, they come quicker than you can imagine. Focus on working really hard to promote your products, soaking all this stuff up, sitting there with a notepad and pen and actually taking notes, and everything you learn in the ClickBank University, take action on, and I can almost guarantee you success. I didn't have this when I got started, and don't get me wrong, I'm not bitter about it or anything. I just think it's fantastic that you've got it now. That you've got it, and as a new vendor, if I had ClickBank University, it would have saved me years, literally years of struggling and working this all out. Follow these tips. I hope they've been useful to you. Obviously, let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll pop in and answer them if possible. But I've enjoyed speaking to you. Let me just leave you with one thing, and that is you can do this. I'm not going to turn it into a motivational video, don't worry. But if I can do it, I guarantee you can. I can say that with no disclaimer. I'm not the most technical guy, not the most gifted guy, I must say, like with sales copy or anything. Everything I've needed, I've learned, and you can do the same, and you can build a business that makes more money, I dare say it, than most 9-to-5s. Just get started, work hard, set goals, soak up all this stuff in the ClickBank University, and I guarantee you'll get there. Cheers guys, I've enjoyed speaking to you. Thanks.